Happy Mismo Monday, everybody. How's it going?
Oh, it's going great.
How are you feeling? Is there anything you want to talk about? Anything?
We're not going to do another Knicks episode, are we? Come on. But I feel great, everybody. I feel...
I'm like, aren't we?
Are we? Because, look...
You can talk about it.
As you see, I've shifted into baseball season now. It's so good.
It was, for context, the Knicks won in 5, right? In case you somehow haven't seen this on social media. Of course you have. The Knicks won in 5, but it happened to coincide with the day of Michael's 2nd birthday party. I mean, could we ask for anything better?
We're on the trains all morning. We do a chug-a-chug-a-tutu themed birthday party, which I just thought was such a brilliant theme. Then I later discovered that chug-a-chug-a-tutu is like a very well-known thing.
It is.
I gave you credit for coming up with that for like 2.5 days. I thought you were brilliant.
Thank you
I still
so
do
much.
think you're brilliant, but I really thought you came up with chug-a-chug-a-tutu.
You were so impressed. I didn't have the heart to tell you, like, oh, I kind of just researched, like, what do people do for a 2-year-old's birthday party, and, like, that came up. Like, when I told you it was chug-a-chug-a-tutu, you were like, oh my god.
Mind blown. Because we had already picked out the train park in Griffith Park.
Yeah.
And then you hit me with chug-a-chug-a-tutu.
Yeah.
Anyway, the party was so great. So cute. He had the best time.
He loved it. All of his little friends were there.
Such cute
It
friends.
was so much fun. We
Family.
had Susie cakes for his cupcakes for his cake.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't let him blow out a candle. That would have been irresponsible, so we didn't do that.
Tried that the night before here at the house.
Yeah.
We're not ready for fire.
There's a great live photo of me. I don't know if I ever actually showed it to you, but where they set the cupcake with the lit candle down in front of him, and obviously he immediately goes for it, and it's just me behind him, like taking all of his limbs and like protecting him, like making sure his face doesn't get in and his hair is okay, and then I think I end up blowing out the candle.
He did something with the cupcake I've never seen him do before. He just like put his mouth, his just face towards it, because we gave him a full-size cupcake and he just went with the fire going.
I was like, why would you choose right now to do that for the first time in your whole life? Kids are wild, man. But we have a 2-year-old.
For those of you just on the listening, I just basically took a bite out of the microphone.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, that's what he did. So no fire. Maybe we'll try again when he's 3. Maybe it's not until 5 or 6.
Who needs it? You know what I mean?
So that's the morning. Then we get home, we take a nap, and it's game 5. And I just had a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Every game of every series prior, we closed out on the road. It's not as... I mean, think how much fun it would have been to win in the Garden. In the Garden. But it didn't happen that way, and it didn't need to. It just needed to happen. It needed to get done.
Mm-hmm.
We've had so many years of coming... not even that close. I was going to say close. We haven't even been that close in a very long time. We were close in the 90s 3 times. Lots of heartbreak. I'm a relatively young Knicks fan. There are guys in their 50s who hugged me at the gym. Cried into my shoulder.
The level of camaraderie about the Knicks winning the championship.
Yeah.
Like, somebody was like, it became America's team. And you know what? Yeah, it did. Because everybody, at least where we are, like, everybody was rooting for the Knicks to win. It was really exciting. It was really cool. Michael got to stay up late that night just so he could watch the championship, which was so funny because, like, he watches sports with us, but obviously he didn't really understand the, like, gravitas of it all.
Mm-hmm.
He was just, like, stoked that we weren't telling him that it was time to go upstairs and go to bed.
Sure.
But, like, it's cool because I think both of us at one point were like, you don't know how cool it is that you just stayed up to watch this game, but, like, one day you will say, like, I stayed up late. My parents let me stay up late and watch that game.
What meant even more to me was game 4 with Michael, because we were down 29. late in the third quarter, Michael goes upstairs to start the bedtime routine. I look to Ashley, and I'm like, you understand that tonight I have to stay.
Of course.
She understood. But they cut the lead, I think, to 15, 17 by the end of the fourth.
As I'm giving Michael his bottle upstairs, I am keeping track of the score on my phone, and I was like,
It was getting better. And she said, I got a text from her like 8 minutes into the fourth, like, don't come upstairs, whatever you're doing, it's working, just don't.
Because they had cut the lead to single digits, and I was like, this is interesting. We don't exist right now. You need to stay wherever you have been.
And I tried to make no noise at all.
I texted you, I said, don't scream because Michael will hear you.
And he'll want to come back downstairs. When Josh Hart stole the ball, ran down court, had a half dunk, half layup, couldn't decide, and missed the opportunity to take the lead, I yelped. And Michael went, Dada? And wanted to come back downstairs, and he did, and we let him, and he came and finished the game with us.
He did. When OG tipped the ball in, you screamed. I've never made that noise before in my life. Like, whatever noise I made.
I don't know.
I, lost the breath in my body, and I, collapsed to the floor, and Michael was standing over there looking at us like, what just happened? He was like, too loud, guy. Literally was like, too loud. No, mama, too loud.
Yeah.
And it, what a game for him to witness. It was so cool. It was an honor to be a Knicks fan with you for the last few weeks here. I had a blast.
It feels like you were on a short-term lease contract because we all know you're a Lakers fan.
Yes.
But thanks for joining the bandwagon.
Thank you. Can I also just state for the record, before people are like, oh, you just jumped on the bandwagon for nothing, like you've never seen a Knicks game.
Tell them about our wedding vows.
First of all, I acknowledge this on Instagram, but I will acknowledge this on the podcast too. Our wedding vows, I said, I will root for the Knicks when they are not playing the Lakers. It is what I said because I am a Lakers fan first. And it's not like I only watched the Knicks when they were in the playoffs. During the regular season, I watched both the Lakers and the Knicks games. So this was not a moment where I was like, you know what? Right now, I'm going to start watching the Knicks. No, guys, I've been watching since we've known each other. We've had NBA League Pass. I know this. We've had NBA League Pass since 2018 because we had moved in together that year. And we decided, because we lived in the same home, we wanted NBA League Pass.
Yeah. They play 82 regular season games. I bet you watched 75 Lakers games and 70, 75 Knicks games.
Correct.
Our favorite nights during the year are, because the Lakers play at, the Knicks play at 4:30 and then the Lakers play at 7.
Yeah.
And we watch both.
Those are
all
great
year long. For several years.
Yes. So don't come for me.
You don't know.
I had some fans and also some friends be like, oh, wow, like you're jumping on the Knicks bandwagon, like go Lakers. And I was like, yes, go Lakers, but obviously we're not in the freaking playoffs right now. So here I am.
I had a couple of people say to me, some people who were like, in New York, and like, oh my God. They were like, but Mick, you're a real Knicks fan.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
It's sweet and it's true. I've you know.
Anyway, thanks for bearing with us. This was only 10 minutes ish of us talking, not 12 minutes of us talking about sports this time. But hello, happy Mismo Monday, and welcome back to the podcast,
where we promise it's not a sports podcast.
But now I'm starting to think maybe we do need a sports podcast.
Let's just have a sports section, maybe.
Maybe there it is. Maybe
they don't release fast enough to be like, we can't be giving live updates.
No, sorry guys, we're parents. We batch our content, so it's the responsible thing to do. Anyway,
but the good thing about talking about the Knicks being champions is that's all summer long. That lasts for a year.
Yeah. Congratulations! I'm really happy for you.
I'm really happy. Life is going really, really well lately. I was talking to another Knicks fan at the gym today about, like, it's all upside the rest of the year. It's only June. We're already champions. Like, let's get greedy. You know, let's have a really good year.
Oh, here we
Worst
go.
case scenario, Knicks are win the championship. Like it's a good year. No
Also,
matter what else happens.
For those who are listening to the podcast who are not sports fans, the Knicks have not won a championship in 53 years.
Right.
So this is why it was such a huge deal. They've had a lot of really bad luck. And they finally, Jalen Brunson was the hero that everyone was waiting for. We gotta move
Brunson. Jalen Brunson. This is why I said we can't do it. We have something we actually want to talk about tonight. You can't. I can't. Okay.
Here's the thing. You can't get us started on sports because then we will only talk about sports for like an hour. So, you know.
Maybe Mismo has multiple pods someday, and sports is one of them.
I think it might have to be that.
For today, let's talk about acting.
Let's talk about it.
Here's what we want to talk about. To always be learning. I've taken so many acting classes. Mm-hmm. And I feel like you can always be learning from acting. The most I've ever learned about acting was in doing Bali High.
Right.
And also the most I've ever learned about producing and filmmaking and writing and any of it. So you learn the most from doing. You learn the second most from class. So when you don't have a job, I feel like it's a feeling that actors get because we hit these lulls and you want to be doing something proactive. You want to be doing the thing. If nobody's hiring you, you don't have a job. There's a number of things that you can do to feel like you're acting and to create acting opportunities for yourself. One of those is just sign up for a class. I feel like I've probably taken way more acting classes than you have.
Sure. I think I took a lot when I was a kid, of course.
You now teach acting classes.
I teach acting classes, but I did for a long time. I went to like one conservatory basically for kids, and that spanned from, I want to say like I was 12 when I started, and I finished up when I was 15, and then booked True like right after it. So but it was like 3 consecutive years of like in class every Thursday, showcases, like doing all of the things. And that was like 3 years. I think I might have worked on a few theater things, but I didn't book any film or TV except for iCarly and then True Jackson. And then a ton of classes before that. And I did take classes, what am I talking about? I took classes after my time at Nickelodeon as well.
Oh, tell us about that.
I had, for any non-actors listening to the pod, I bet you would understand this, like if you've ever seen a kids TV show versus a normal sitcom, an adult sitcom on a network. The acting is just very different, and when you are a kid and you've been in the Nickelodeon and Disney World for so long, it's very hard to unlearn everything that you have done for most of your life. So I was going into like really, dramatic auditions and playing it like I was still on Nickelodeon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was so bad. Oh, it was so bad. Yeah, like really dramatic movies. I would go out for like really dramatic movies. And
when you say playing it like Nickelodeon, like, I mean, I was too big?
It was too big. Like, I was trying to like hit every joke that there was none. There were 0 jokes. But it's what I was trained for and like looking, just like what to look for in a script. And it took me a long time to unlearn that. I took privates from my acting coach that I had gone to for 3 years. I took her classes for 3 years, and then I took privates with her for a little while. I tried a few like different acting classes, I think, and none of them really stuck with me. I really, really loved my teacher from my conservatory because she knew me really, really well, and she just had a way of like kind of getting through to me. You know what I mean? Like I feel like a lot of actors understand that. Like you really have to find like the right class and the right teacher, the person that works for you, the way that works for you. And she really, really worked for me. So I tried a few classes after my time on Nickelodeon, and she ended up being the one. So I took privates from her for maybe a year or two, on and off a year or two. And it helped significantly. I actually overcorrected. So I would go in for like those more serious auditions.
Yeah.
And I remember my agent at the time got feedback for something, and they were like, she was so vibrant when she came into the room. And then when she started the script, it was like all of the life left her eyes because I like way overcorrected.
Got it.
And it was like I went from having too much emotion to having absolutely no emotion. And so my acting coach was like, so now we have to find the happy medium. And that's okay. Like it took some finagling, but like it would have been impossible without my time on Nickelodeon would have been impossible without those classes. And for the first few episodes of True Jackson VP, I still got coaching because I was nervous and I didn't really know what I was doing. So
okay, so you have taken a lot of acting classes.
I haven't jumped around very much, but I have taken a lot of classes.
For me, what you just said kind of reminds me of feedback I got. I did Groundlings, which is an improv studio that feeds into SNL. There's a number of them here in LA. UCB, Upright Citizens Brigade, that's the one that Amy Poehler and others founded. And then Groundlings, Will Ferrell, Melissa McCarthy, unbelievable alumni there. I took level 1 in college of Groundlings, and I was told that I was like funny, but I didn't have enough life experience. And she said, I just think you need to live life a little bit more before you do this. And then I came back like 5 years later, and I made it to level 2, and then I just never even did level 2. Because then while doing that, I was also doing UCB. I made it all the way through the UCB program. I also did the sketch writing program. Like, I spent a lot of time at UCB, and I was doing comedy. I was producing a comedy show. I was on 2 improv teams. I was doing a lot of it. That was the thing that I was doing to get that sensation. Right. To get on stage, to get feedback from an audience, to get laughs. That feels really, really good. Improv is a valuable skill, and it's so much fun. And an incredibly small percent of people are successful enough at improv that ends up being their career that actually pays their bills. And I just decided at some point, like, I really like comedy, and I have a lot of fun doing it, but I don't think I'm like SNL funny like that. I don't think people are looking to cast me in those types of roles, and they're not thinking of me in that way. And I was around incredibly talented comedians who do something that I don't do, and I think I got what I needed from those places, and I use that in all of my stuff. But it seemed like a piece of my story, not like
the whole story.
No.
Got it.
So, and then also that lined up with, I started doing theater again because at USC, not much comedy. Like a lot of scene study. I did a lot of classic plays, and I wanted more comedy. So then I did UCB and Groundlings, and then theater pulled me back into the first one was dramatic, and then others were comedic, and then I felt like I had gotten some of both.
Right.
One question to make this episode productive for, let's say, somebody who is just doesn't know where to spend their money. They want to act. Acting classes are, expensive, and let's say somebody who's going to not go the theater school route and kind of design their own curriculum. What do you think are the most essential classes? Let's say somebody's going to give themselves 1 year to try it out in LA, and they've got a few $1,000 to spend on acting classes.
I think be as well-rounded as you can. If you're giving yourself a year, take like what you did at SC, you did like very dramatic, very classic plays. Like if you can find a place that teaches that, I would do that. Leslie Kahn for comedy, like I would do something like that. So because if I feel like if you're just kind of starting out and kind of getting your footing, at that point you're a little bit like, I'll do anything. Like I want to act, I want to like do the thing. But also as you keep going, you don't necessarily like find your niche, but you do find the things that like make your heart sing and like make you really happy, or that come very easily to you. And you're not going to know that unless you take all different kinds of classes. So like take the improv classes, go to Groundlings, go see shows at Groundlings and UCB, and like see if you like see yourself on stage there and you're like, okay, I think I could do that. I'd also say, and I tell my kids this all the time, if you can read any screenwriting books, obviously Save the Cat is a huge one. Like that also helps, I think, with acting a lot. Just like knowing how something is written so that you can kind of get a little bit of a behind the scenes of your scenes that you're doing in whatever scene study class you have in comedy and in drama, because it kind of just goes hand in hand. So I think being as well-rounded as you can, if you're giving yourself a year, is really beneficial. How about you?
I think I would get either a subscription to Audible or buy some books like Save the Cat. And then I would also get a subscription to MasterClass. You and I have been really going after MasterClass. We just watched Spike Lee's independent filmmaking MasterClass, and like, there are so many amazing ones on there. Natalie Portman teaches acting for camera.
Yes. There's a good amount of acting ones on there. There's a lot of great writing ones on there. Indie filmmaking is on there. There's so many great ones. And I think I knew we were going to do this episode, and I was thinking back to like all of my acting classes, and I was like, would I go back to an acting class at this point in my life? And it's interesting to me because I'm not opposed to going back to an acting class at all. Like I loved my conservatory like so much. I think there's two sides of that coin, though. I think I loved it so much and it was so good for me, but I also think that because I loved it so much and I could never see myself learning any other way, I've kind of screwed myself because I did compare every acting class that I took after that to my conservatory.
Okay.
And I loved my conservatory so much. So what I have learned about myself since the last acting class that I took is I have a real block when it comes to class, because the last classes that I took were not the ones with my private coach. I had tried like a scene study, just like you just go every week and like you get a new scene, you work in that scene for a couple weeks, then next scene. And to me, I felt like, why am I doing this? Like it didn't feel helpful to me at all to just like do a scene that I'd seen on a television show and then work on that for a couple weeks and then move on to a different television show. It was just I just had a weird block with all of my classes, but I love to learn.
Yeah.
So MasterClass has been so beneficial for my brain.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I guess in my brain, I'm like, I see the path forward by like learning all the things that I'm learning in MasterClass with writing, with acting, with filmmaking. I know the real world application of all of that. And I feel like in the case of acting, I learn better. Obviously, you said at the beginning, I learn better when I'm on set. I learn so much when I'm on set. My brain can't compute like being in class. Like I can't compute what the scene is. But when I'm on set, if you give me a scene, I will lock in like that. Oh. And I don't know what that block is.
Oh, interesting.
For me, yeah. But I can watch like 10 master classes on acting and be like, yeah, I've learned a ton from that. It's a very weird.
You said in class you can't lock in on a scene?
No, I can't lock in on a scene.
So it's my favorite thing. Like,
really?
I love acting class so much.
Good for you.
It's just fun.
Good.
It was a lot of my experience, I guess.
Right.
It was a lot of the way that I wonder, I almost feel like I have more acting class memories, or I don't know if more is fair to say, but than performing memories. Like,
right.
You're just so free to try out a scene, and so I love a scene study class. Getting back to like what should somebody do with a few $1,000? You need to learn how to break down a scene. So there's a number of books on that, and a number of acting teachers on that, and different vocabularies for how you go about doing that. Like, are you using the words tactic and objective or not? And beats. You kind of do need to know how to break down the beats of a scene, noticing when something is changing in your character and or in the scene. So you want to at least understand those moments. But there's so many different words that different people use for that. Like Stanislavski, I believe, actually called them bits, not beats, but then they got misinterpreted into beats when it all came to America. And like, I love talking about like Adler and Strasberg and Meisner, and I even love the like how it came from Russia, from Stanislavski, and got misinterpreted, and different people took it all different ways, and now there's so many ideologies out there. So I just have a lot of fun with it. Because I was a BA, not a BFA. The BFA at USC is a conservatory. BAs are more like free agents, where you're supposed to take a number of different styles. So I've had a number of different ways of approaching a scene, and sometimes I'll change it up depending on the character or the story, or just like working inside out or outside in, or however. There's a number of ways into it. But I think acting class is really fun. It does get you up, and it does, and then like inevitably, in the same way that you get that camaraderie with a cast. You definitely have that with your classmates.
Totally. I was so close to my classmates when I was in my concert, because I think I was in a different program for the first year, and then for the last 2 years I was like with the same people. And it was to the point where like there were tears every class. Like, it was like a therapy session every Thursday, and it was like amazing. So I and it's hard because like I hear that and I'm like, yeah, I loved going to class. I really, really did. And I don't know what it was years and years later when I kind of was like, I don't really love going to class anymore. I don't love this experience anymore. And
do you know, can you point to why that was?
I don't know how to explain it other than like my acting coach at the place that I had gone to for a very long time taught us all of that. It was, how to break down your scene, what's your objective, like all of that stuff. And at the same time, her whole objective was stop acting. Stop acting. You should be trying to figure out how to make it as natural as possible, as grounded as possible. And I think in how I grew up on Nickelodeon, all of that was acting. Obviously, it was very heightened, and very over the top. So I don't know. I think when I went back to class, it felt too acty. It felt too like, I do break down my scenes, and I do know like, when does an emotion change? Like, where does this piece of a scene need to go? I understand all of that, and I can look at a scene and do all of that. But the like minutia of it felt so acty to me, and my upbringing and my education was all like, just stop acting, that I think classes just felt wrong for me.
Yeah. I think similarly to how the Groundlings teacher told me that I needed to go live life a little bit more, I also then frustratingly heard the feedback that I was overtrained after theater school.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's frustrating.
That is very frustrating.
That sucks.
That is incredibly frustrating.
How did you deal with that?
I was confused because one of my professors told me about, I was like, well, where am I going to take acting classes after school? And one of my professors told me a place to go. And then I started hearing feedback of like, no, don't take acting class. You learned how to act. Now just like...
Be.
Yeah. So I took class at that place for maybe a year. And then, it was expensive. I had no money, so I was like, I dropped it. Every time I've dropped acting class, it's only been because I didn't have time or money to do it anymore. Right. I would be in a weekly class if there was the time for it, but now that's hard to pull off.
Totally.
And we have to be so selective about what we do, what we say yes to. So, then I didn't take acting class for a long time. For a few years. It's such a catch-22 because you always want to be doing something. It feels so weird to be doing nothing. But, like, when I got on set for the short film that I did earlier this year, Wish I Were a Phoenix, it was all right there.
You locked right back in.
Like, I did Bali High, and then I did, like, a 2-day shoot in the summer. For a commercial series, and then Wish I Were a Phoenix. So that's like 3 acting jobs in 12 or 13 months, with months in between. And it's interesting because it, like in any sport, you can't not practice for that long. You can't, if you're a musician, you can't not play your instrument in between jobs for that long. So they say, acting class, that's what it is. It's like, it's the gym. It's where you keep the instruments sharp. And, but then they also want you to be natural. So. And
maybe that's a piece of it on my end as well, is that I, because so much of my upbringing was Nickelodeon, which was very regimented and very like, and this is what you do for every single piece of this and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I think maybe that's what I was feeling when I went back to classes, is the overtraining a little bit, the overthinking of every single little thing. So I don't know. Sometimes acting classes work great for you. Love acting classes, and I just
enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
I love
that you locked back in though for Wish I Were a Phoenix.
Yeah.
Like watching you prep that was so cool. You worked really hard on it, but you were also like, let go and let God.
Yeah.
It was like really cool to watch because you just knew like, oh yes, I understand the character that I'm playing. I understand the beats. You got to do your song. Like, that was great.
I got to sing. I got all the technical parts of it prepared. The character was a dad, so I was able to, I found my ways in, the ways that we were similar, the ways that we weren't similar. I researched, I connected to this character. The script made sense to me. The director was also, Sierra Brogmas was, wanted to take the time to meet, talk about everything, rehearse, which was incredibly helpful and very like theater. She has a theater background as well, so we speak a similar language, and it just felt great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like really cool to watch your process in that. We did do that 2-day shoot in the middle of last year, but this was like the first film that you were doing since Bali High, so it was cool to see your process then versus your process literally 1 year later. It was like really awesome to see. I think you crushed it. Thanks
so much. I do know a lot more about film acting now.
Right.
It's astonishing how much some of the basic things that I did not understand until doing it. I would say the main thing that I learned is to now we're editing Bali High. I mean, we're not editing Bali High, but Bali High is being edited. I understand, or I have so much to learn about it still, but like the idea of giving them options in the editing room.
Yeah.
And here's why I was confused about it from acting for camera classes that I had taken in the past. They're so worried about continuity. You're like, oh, the pen was in my, and then you realize, yes, make an effort to make your continuity consistent, but also like they can cut around that. But like, if you give them an unbelievable moment that was something different, or like the way they're gonna arc your character might be in the editing room different than what it seemed like it was going to be on the page. And if you've given them a version where you're absolutely in love with the girl and another one where you're like, you've got a secret and you're about to break up with the girl and it's just like something subtle, that's interesting.
Yeah, I think that's a part of it too. Is like when you overwork on something, which is something that happens at least in the scene study classes that I took outside of the conservatory. Like in those classes, it was like you just pour over those beats over and over again and over and over again, and knowing from being on set that like you have to keep it loose. Like you have to keep it fluid. You have to be in the moment with the person that you are with. There is no like, and then this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen. There's a sense of that, but you really have to stay present with the other person in order for that performance to fly.
And you cannot be present, I don't think, if you're not prepared.
Right.
So, like, off book is like the very, very basics of it.
Yes.
But beyond knowing the words, you have to understand the beats. You have to understand... It's interesting because I was going to say the intention was the next word that was going to come out of my mouth, but you can have what you think is the primary intention, but also stay open to an idea from the director, right. Or like have a second and third and fourth idea.
Yeah.
Of an intention and then a number of ideas for tactics. So just to quickly maybe say, intention is what you want in the scene. Super intention is what your character wants in the whole play or film, and tactics are how you go about getting it.
Yes. This conversation is so interesting to me because you're helping me like work through why I stopped loving acting classes. Like it's so interesting to me. You keep talking and I'm like, oh, maybe this is why. And this is making me just think of like...
The way I'm talking is making you remember why you didn't like acting classes.
It's making me... I'm trying to...
Am I annoying you with all these words?
No, because I know that you love classes and it's confusing to me because because I love to learn. And so it's weird to me that I love to learn, but I'm like, I can't do like an acting class. It is like, it just doesn't click in my brain. Mm-hmm. So like, why? But it's like... I think when you do classes, this is coming from you saying, like, stay open to something that the director would be saying because, like, the intention can change. Like, things can change all the time. I think in a scene study class, or at least the ones that I have taken, we spend those, like, 2 to 3 weeks working on a scene and trying to perfect it. Mm-hmm. And to me, there's no...
It's a dangerous word, isn't it?
Yes. And to me, because of the experiences that I've had on set, I almost never... feel like when we are like moving on from a scene, I don't feel like I've perfected it, but I feel like I've given options, like you're saying, options within reason. But I do feel like you listen to the director and she's giving you an option. You're being present with your scene partner and they're giving you options, and you're like, ooh, okay, I'm going to change what I'm doing. You're doing your own coverage and your scene partner's giving you something different so that you can have a different performance. Like there's so many other things that are happening that when you're in a scene study class and they're like, we just want to, we want you to cry on this, like, one line. We want you to cry on this beat right here. I'm like, but I don't know that working on this one piece of the scene over and over and over and over again until this is perfect is going to get me anywhere, because I've been on set and I know that this is not going to be, not fully applicable to what we are doing on set. And I think that's the mental block that I have, because we try so hard to get it perfect. And when you're on set, it doesn't quite feel perfect all the time.
That said, though, I've been in some acting classes where the same team is working on a scene for 8 weeks, 12 weeks, and they turn out some remarkable work sometimes.
I agree. Yeah.
Sometimes, though, it peaks in, like, week 6, and then they keep doing it for 4 more weeks.
Oh, that's tough.
You know?
You don't want that. You don't want that.
It's like, we got it. We can move on.
Yeah. This was great 3 weeks ago.
Now they're just trying stuff. And, though, that does get frustrating. And like, because when you're not in acting class, you're like, it'd be fun to do an acting class. But when you've been in the same acting class for 2 years or so, or whatever, you do get to a point where you're like, I'm doing great work in here. Nobody's seeing it. And then you just want to get out and do it.
Right.
I think that is why I left my last acting class, because I did have a play that I was going to go and do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I never went back after that.
Right.
There's just nothing better than doing the real thing. But we're talking about this too. You just got offered or invited to audition for some theater.
Yeah.
Kind of far away.
Yeah.
And you said no.
I did.
So like acting class, I mean, so traditional acting class is like something you pay for. Doing theater is kind of like acting class too. And you know, had to say no to that one.
I did. And I, to be honest, just found out like friends of mine are doing that show, and I'm like, dang.
Would have been fun.
Would have been fun. I'm seeing opening. I'm gonna come to opening, but man. Still
though, where we are right now, because I think that's the other thing we're talking to on this is balancing all of it with being a family. And as much fun as doing theater is, and as much fun as I think acting classes or improv, or even just going to improv or seeing stand-up, just like being out, like we used to do that stuff all the time.
Yeah, we had like subscriptions to the theaters here, and like we would go and do that stuff all the time. Yeah,
we're gonna go see an opening night on in 2 nights, but like we do it maybe every other month now.
Yeah,
we
get
very
out for a show. It's very infrequent now.
And we're saying basically no to theater. It would take something special.
It really would, yeah.
And neither of us are in acting class.
Yeah.
So how do we keep learning?
MasterClass is a big one for us.
It has been that for us.
It's, to be honest, we've been listening to it while we've been working out. That's, instead of listening to music, we're listening to MasterClass.
I feel optimally productive.
It's so great. It's so great.
Getting stronger and getting smarter.
Literally.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just shout out the Shonda Rhimes MasterClass.
Such a good one.
Because I obviously am a huge, everybody knows this, Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder, Private, like I love Shondaland, and to hear the thought processes behind what she was doing is like so cool. And also to hear that sometimes she was like, I didn't know what I was doing. We just kind of did this on the fly and it worked. I'm like, you're brilliant. You're amazing. I love you so much.
I love so many of them who you would be like intimidated to meet in person. They're such normal people.
Yeah.
And they're so like,
they're chilling.
Like they made mistakes along the way. They didn't know. I love some of the things Spike Lee said about like fundraising and getting his first couple of films made.
I think we also really loved, both of us did, Aaron Sorkin and how self-deprecating he was.
So funny. He's hilarious.
I guess I was thinking he was going to be like way more buttoned up, and from the second that MasterClass started, I was like, oh, this is going to be a fun lesson.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So we learn so much from that. I also have had the incredible luck of being in Sundance Collab, which is really cool. And if you haven't heard of it, highly recommend. I took a directing course there, and it was self-paced, which, as we're saying, time is a commodity here. So to be able to kind of just get that done in my own time was amazing. There was like still work I had to turn in and like things I had to do for the class, and also like my classmates were like in a group chat together. Like I still felt like I had community, which was really cool. But a totally online course, and my classmates are from literally all over the world. So like highly recommend. I took a directing course. They have screenwriting, they have producing, any facet of the industry that you're interested in. They have, including like acting, but also tech things. They have things on AI, they have editing, they have 8-week courses, they have master classes that are like $10. So
yeah, it's an incredible resource. And then I just went with you to
another masterclass,
another one, like one of the $10 ones, right?
Yeah, and we're taking another one this week. So like it's just a really invaluable,
that was just like a couple of hours.
It's like
one day.
A really invaluable resource for
that was for a specific subject that I had a couple of questions and they were all answered. Yeah. And there was even a live Q&A with a live expert on that one.
Yeah. They're really good about just like supporting creatives. They have a writer's cafe that they do online every week. So it's like something that you can actively show up to. And they like really encourage community and community building. And I feel like that's a resource that it fell out of the sky for me. Honestly, it was an Instagram ad that I saw. And I was like, I want to learn how to direct. And I'd wanted to do it for a long time. We kind of discussed it and I was like, it's self-paced. I don't know anything about this. This could be BS, but like, let me try it. And now I'm like, I can't believe I ever like did not have this in my life. Just as an actor, it definitely helps to learn from like other actors and writers and producers and stuff like that, like people who are actively doing it. I think it's pretty great. How about you? How are you? Are there any things that you're doing additionally?
I think definitely MasterClass, and also just the fact that we are continuing to create our own stuff.
Yeah.
So we're editing one project and we are writing another one.
Yeah.
And
like you said, doing it is the best.
Just doing it.
Lesson.
Yeah. I love that Mismo has a couple of projects in the in different phases of development. Every producer who's further along than us, who I've spoken to, they've always got several cooking. So it's really cool to be at that place, because I remember years ago saying, I just got to get to the point where I've got like, one in post, one in pre, developing one, and like we're kind of there, getting there.
Yeah.
So that's so fun. I've never learned more than I learned on Bali High, so we'll keep doing it.
What is the next thing that you are excited to learn?
How to distribute a film.
How to distribute a film. Very good.
I want to learn how to... So we're going to take a finished product and get it out into the world.
Yep.
Would love to have like not had to do it all on our own, but the fact that we did,
it's badass. It's badass.
We did Bali High on our own. I mean, with an amazing team that we brought on,
yes.
But like with no studio, no anybody, no other production company. No, it was a Mismo production.
Yep.
I don't need them to all be that way. I would also I would be interested in learning how to like get more help from the beginning, earlier on.
Yeah.
I want to learn about music.
Mm-hmm.
Scoring, music for film.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to act more. I always want to act more, but I really want to, this is like a funny thing to say, but I really think it'd be great to just do a sitcom for like seasons, several seasons, 5, 8. I think I would learn so much from having a place to show up to work. And I think while I said like I'm not that kind of UCB, SNL comedic person, I think I could learn how to do a sitcom.
Totally.
Yeah. I want to do a sitcom and I want to distribute a movie.
What, like it's hard?
I mean, let's do it.
I believe you can do it.
All right, thanks. If I could look again, the Knicks
oh my God.
won the championship. Why not? Why won't I distribute a movie and book a sitcom this year? Let's go.
Anyway, correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
it's all upside. Let's get greedy.
And cinematography for me.
Okay, good.
I learned how to direct, and now I want to learn cinematography.
I'm sorry. Anyway. I felt like...
and go Knicks. Is that the consensus?
I think it was the opening image. It's the closing image. This is over now. That was the end of us talking about the Knicks. For the summer, it's baseball. I won't talk to you about baseball because you'll all be bored until October. I'll be watching all 162 games, but
we'll be talking more about sports. You can count on that.
Will we? Can we?
Probably not as extensive. We got to figure out how to talk about sports without boring.
You guys tell us. You know, they're gonna let us know.
If you love it, we'll keep going.
I mean, I watched Kim Kardashian's Masterclass. She says to you guys tell us.
Yeah, you tell us. What do you want to see?
Do you love it when I talk about the Knicks?
Listen, speaking of things you might want to see, we have very exciting things coming up for Mismo. Just putting that out there.
Very exciting. Let's leave it at that.
Have a nice night, everybody.
Good night.